Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're doing well. Today, I have the joy of having with me Joana, Joana Campos Pinto, who is a beautiful soul that I've met in the Galactic groups, which she's part of as well. And my God, Joana is such an interesting soul and beautiful, multidisciplinary person. She's done studies in archaeology, in museum studies, I think you said as well. You're now a self-entrepreneur and you are producing a magical product that everybody talks about in the galactic community. And you will have the opportunity to tell us a little bit more about that. But just welcome, Joana, and thank you for being on the channel, and tell us a bit more about you, your practice, and which ways in which you manifest your positive reality on Terra by everything that you are and do. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. So yeah, about me, I'm a dreamer, and it's not easy to be a dreamer in these days. Yeah, but like we were talking a little bit before, and sometimes it's really hard, to try and talk to people about the things that, we consider it's our mission to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And especially here in Portugal, I believe that many people can resonate when I say this, but people here are still, I don't want to call them simple-minded, but they're still a work in progress. So sometimes it's really hard to talk about, those subjects in the galactic realms.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Would you
because
say that it has to do with perhaps a religious tradition? Does that have to do with
yes,
it, or other things?
very,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
very much. We're still very Catholic.
Yeah.
Especially the city I live in, it's considered the Rome of Portugal. So yeah, that's still very, very much intricate in religion, in religious beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's just like very challenging, very, very challenging. And it was as well like a learning path for myself, because I was always very straightforward. I always spoke my mind. And I had to learn, how to choose my audience. And yeah, nowadays I'm like, people come and talk to me. I share a couple of things on Facebook, but still, very
Soft.
calmly, just, planting some seeds here and there and giving people the opportunity to go and research themselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then sometimes when we're in a group of friends, I'm just quiet in the background, just listening, observing. Because I went from being that young girl that, very straightforward and would talk before, even thinking,
Yeah.
to like
Without filter.
exactly, to a like more mature mother, like, like, okay, let me just observe my surroundings. Who am I talking to? And then I start slowly, like if I see that the person is open to a certain subject, I would go there. But yeah, it's been fun in a way, very challenging but fun, because I'm also like, learning about myself. And that's beautiful. Yeah.
It's a beautiful journey of discovering who you are, but also I find of maturing in the way you're saying, because I think it's a journey we all had to go through in this sort of galactic realm or communities, that we want to share the truth, and like not everybody's ready to hear it, and there is this element of wisdom at some point to be able to say,
Yeah.
I let go of the expectation of people believing me, and I'll just be respectful, and sometimes perhaps by example
Yeah.
we offer more, we plant more seeds through example than actually trying to force things in people's throat. And I feel that for example, we were talking about your beautiful product that you developed, and you can talk about in a second. I think that's also a beautiful way to do a sort of disclosure. I'm sure a lot of ladies are going to be like, oh, what a beautiful product. And then what's the inspiration? And there you go. There's some beautiful disclosure there through that. Would you like to tell us a bit more about this product here?
Absolutely. And I already had like a lot of people asking me, why Inanna? Who's Inanna?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chance, an opportunity again for me to check, okay, who am I talking to? Will I talk about who Inanna really is?
Yeah.
Or will I talk about, like goddess Inanna from, old Sumerian, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but it's really nice to see people and talk to them about the product. And like you said, it is an opportunity for disclosure in a sense.
Yeah. Would you
And
like just for the, I'm sorry to cut you,
but no, go ahead.
Just for the people who don't necessarily, because we're kind of part of that community, so we know how everything's going on, but some people might listen to this video and don't know what's the context of this product and who's Inanna and why. And would you mind just doing a little bit of an explanation of what's about all that?
Absolutely. So I was able to have access through Elena to a recipe, a beauty recipe provided by Inanna herself,
who is a Anunnaki,
exactly.
positive Anunnaki,
princess,
princess lady, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Beautiful lady, grandniece of Prince Ea, marvelous Prince Ea. And then I was through my formulation diploma. I had put it in a corner for a while because I had to work on my final project, but I wanted my final project to be, something amazing. So I saw the recipe and then I was like, okay, I started checking the ingredients and see how I could, put them all together and make a beautiful facial cream. Yeah. I wanted women to feel like Inanna, like, because she's absolutely gorgeous. She's magnificent. And in a way, I feel that women nowadays kind of forgot about their feminine essence, So that was exactly what I wanted to create, something that women would, put on their faces and just feel the sensuality, the magic, and themselves feel like real feminine energy. So I started working on that, and I kind of tweaked a little bit according to the ingredients that I would be able to use. And it was so beautiful to study, especially the monoatomic gold. And because monoatomic gold is highly, highly alkaline. Highly alkaline.
Very good.
Yes, exactly. But on a facial emulsion, you need to control the pH. It needs to be a lower pH. So it was an amazing challenge to try and get, the optimal pH for your skin, but, using monoatomic gold, because that's the key ingredient of it. And then I added a couple more things, a beautiful blue lotus extract made by myself. It's homemade. And I was like, what kind of flower, would represent Inanna in a way? And
it smells so good too.
It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious.
And so spiritually inspiring as well as a flower in terms of symbolism. But
beautiful. And it gives like this beautiful floral scent to the emulsion, the facial cream. Yeah, and then I started, using damask rose water, neroli, going through the original recipe and trying to adapt it to make this beautiful cream. And it was an amazing, amazing journey. But yeah, because, one of the things I felt was that for me, I needed Elena's permission to do this. So I kind of was so nervous. I kept giggling, but I sent her a voice message. I sounded like an overexcited teenager.
She could see your passion and enthusiasm, so that helped.
Yes, yeah, no, now that you mentioned it, yeah. But yeah, and I needed to ask her permission for this, to do this. And yeah, Elena is absolutely amazing, and she's like this huge heart, and she was so excited about it.
Yeah.
And I had thought about a name for the facial cream, but again, I wanted to feel that I had permission to do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't ask Elena about the name. But then on the message, on her reply, she was like, "Why don't you call it Inanna's Secret?"
Oh, cool.
That's the validation I needed. So I started working on the product, and also, updating Elena. She helped me with the Sumerian characters for the label. I asked her to confirm, to validate if those were the right characters for Inanna.
Yeah.
And she was amazing, amazing, amazing. And then, yeah, that's it. That's the amazing cream. And one of the things I wanted to explain in a way, especially for people that already purchased it and are waiting, is that I do it all by hand. Everything. I start with the formulation process. I create the formula, calculate the percentages. Since that to labeling, I do it all by myself. I do the graphic design for the labels as well. And yeah, I cut the labels, I stick the labels because I want people to feel the energy, that all the love that I put on that beautiful creation inspired by Inanna.
Wow, this is so inspiring. I mean, just, I'm sure people, I know you were already getting so many sales and you're like, I can't keep up, guys, and I'm doing this by hand. And it's such a precious product because you're doing all the steps of it and you're imbuing this beautiful product, not just graphically, but obviously in the substance itself, this high vibration, this high frequency of your love and the inspiration. So, I mean, it's just,
yes,
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's so wonderful.
Absolutely. It is important for me that people, feel that.
Yeah.
When they kind of pump that bottle and feel the scent, feel it on the skin. I want people to feel that. Yeah. It's magic.
Yeah.
It's alchemy.
Yeah, it is. And it's wonderful, I feel, as well, from what you told me a little bit about yourself when we were off camera, is that how everything comes together in your life, like you study of ancient history or archaeology, and then your love for travels and everything, and then suddenly the galactic, I don't know, I find that everything just amazingly, when someone finds their, I don't like that word mission so much, but like they find their way of incarnating something beautiful and manifesting something beautiful on planet Terra and with beings, with people. It's just everything comes together in a sort of magical, beautiful, fluent way. How would you say that the different elements of your life have brought you into all that you do now today?
That's interesting. It was a quest. It was an adventure. Luckily, I'm married to my soulmate who understands it perfectly, and it's my backup all the way. But it was very challenging, especially with people's judgments. But going back to your question, I started, my passion was always archaeology. I was completely, since a young girl, I was fascinated by old cultures and that the remains. It's our history, it's our legacy, our heritage. So I went there. It's not a very successful profession here in Portugal. So yeah, I put it on the side for a while. Then we went live in Ireland, beautiful Ireland. Amazing. I felt so at home there. I was so welcomed. And I took my master in museum studies. Again, I was, giving it another try. Like, I want to do this. It's my passion.
Yeah.
But then eventually we came back to Portugal. It didn't work again in this country. It's, it's difficult. But anyway, but I couldn't stop, I couldn't stand idle and watch life going by, like, and so I was like, okay, where can I go from here? Where can I go? And I always had this passion about herbalism. It's still very traditional here in Portugal, that special mom's onion tea for your cough. So yeah.
And it's a beautiful traditions that we should honor because I mean they're so
Yeah.
natural and so benevolent of the body. But
I
sorry.
still do that with my
Mhm.
kids. I mean, you open the doors, the cabinet doors, and you have herbs instead of medicine, conventional medicine.
Yeah,
That's medicine as well, herbal medicine.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I went deeper into herbalism. Still not happy. I'm taking another course to go
The
further
eternally
into it.
curious one.
Eternally curious one,
I know
the
how that feels.
Gemini. Yeah, and then I was, doing my oil macerations and sharing it on my Instagram page. And then people started, like, I want to buy that.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, maybe this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started, I searched for the formulation diploma because for me it's important to do. Usually I say that I'm a rebel, but in a sense, I like to make things, properly.
Yeah.
Things for me need to be done.
There's no contradiction. I think you can be both.
Exactly, right? I mean, yeah. So I started my diploma in skincare formulation.
Yeah.
And that's when I reached Inannas Secret. And in a way, I mean, it all comes together because, even herbalism, like herbal medicine, it is said, according to historians, that the first written records of herbal medicine are ancient Sumerian tablets, clay tablets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in a way, it's all connected. That's
Makes
it.
sense. It's
And this,
incredible. Like this line that just connects everything in your life in this beautiful fluent way.
absolutely.
It's just amazing. It's like the Inanna product is just like the logical result of all this journey of
Yeah.
yours. And how did you end up, just by curiosity, stumbling upon this whole galactic universe and this whole galactic community thing? How did that come into the portrait?
Oh, that's beautiful. I was always very curious, and I do have like vivid memories of being a little girl sitting at a window, looking at the stars and missing
Mm.
home.
Yeah,
At the time, I couldn't explain it, I was just a little girl.
yeah,
I would focus on the stars, and they would be my confidant, I would cry, I would laugh, I would tell my secrets to the stars. So again, like my family was very old tradition, and I couldn't talk to people about that.
mhm,
But I was always very curious, and I always, in my mind, it made sense that if life was created on this planet, why couldn't there be lives, on other planets? It didn't make any sense for us
mhm.
to be unique in this vast universe.
Yeah,
So, as like growing up, I've always read about UFOs, and I have one funny story, if you don't mind me telling it
please,
just
please,
really
please.
quickly. Like my father was one of the most skeptic peoples I've ever met. Like he was skeptical all the way, and all his life, he said that when he was a teenager he saw a UFO, cigar-shaped UFO, while he was
Interesting.
camping.
Hmm.
And I was, okay, nice. At least, I can talk to my dad about this, but still with some limits.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I've always read about it. I was always very curious. And then, pandemic came on and people started, looking for other answers.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I was also working with quantum hypnotherapy at the time, then I stopped. You kind of start having that connection and looking
Yeah.
for answers. And it was when I found Elena. And, you know, she rocked my world. I mean, like there were some, I believe
Yeah.
a lot of us
She
went
rocked
through
a lot
that,
of
you
people's
know.
world in a beautiful, positive way.
Exactly, because she started, you know, breaking down everything. And although I always had an open mind, because of my academic background, I also need to have like a scientific mind.
Yep.
And Elena brought that.
Yeah.
No, Elena brought that. It wasn't just, you know, all.
It was not
Yeah,
woo-woo. That's what's good
yeah,
about Elena. I like it
exactly.
too. It's not woo-woo. It's like it's always
Not
scientifically
woo.
grounded. Yeah.
It's not, you know, pink clouds and unicorns. It's not
Yeah.
that. There's
Mhm.
scientific basis.
Yeah.
This lady is interesting. Yeah, this lady is interesting. So yeah, I kept on following Elena. I was on the Patreon group for a while. Then I
Mhm.
ended up leaving. And a few months later, I mean, I would say years later, yeah, um, we were on the webinar, and then I talked to Tina on the chat, and I told her, yeah, I remember you from Patreon. She was like, find me on Telegram. And she added me to the chicks because she's beautiful. Our Tina, she's our
Mhm.
beacon. She's our beacon of light.
Yeah.
And
Connects so
yeah,
many
and
people.
absolutely. And then I felt at home when I was added to the chicks and all this galactic, beautiful family. Also
Wonderful.
connecting, yeah, also connecting with Portuguese speakers
Mhm.
in this world.
Yeah.
And it's been beautiful, yeah.
It's wonderful. So tell me, I'm just curious. I'm wondering because you know, with your archaeology background and interest into this, and you know, again, the connection with Inanna, and do you feel? And again, it's perhaps a personal question. If it's you know, don't if you don't feel comfortable, you can say. But do you feel a connection somehow through history or through galactic history? Some sort of connection there, either I don't know, like I'm thinking about Anunnaki, obviously because of Inanna's Secret, but do you feel there because of the archaeology thing going on, and I have the same feeling about Egypt because I've also you know done archaeology in Egypt. It's well not in Egypt but about Egypt, and so we always have that connection to these ancient societies, maybe Sumerian, Egyptian, whatever. Do you feel this interest is connected to you perhaps through a connection upstairs, or do you feel there's something there going on for you?
No, absolutely. I
Mm-hmm.
completely agree with what you said. Like, I mean, I was always fascinated with Egypt. Like
Okay.
my dream journey would be
Mm-hmm.
to Egypt. And in a way, Sumerian as well, because you know, I kind of feel that those contemporary cultures kind of, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they're all have the same essence in a way,
Yeah.
if we can say that, you know, they're
Mm-hmm.
connected in a way.
Yeah.
An example, Elena keeps telling us about, you know, Ninursak and all the other Anak that are in a way also seen as Egyptian deities, if
Yeah.
we want to call that. So everything is connected in a way,
Absolutely.
just different names. Um, but yeah, I remember first time I heard about Inanna was many, many years ago. I was watching this, it was a TV show, a mini series or something like that called The Red Tent.
Mm-hmm.
And it was beautiful. Again, the main character, she was an herbalist. She would
Mm-hmm.
care for women in the old traditional way. And when they were at the Red Tent, they had like this sculpture, clay sculpture of Inanna.
Mm.
Yeah, and they would, you know, like pray to Inanna, like we're daughters of Inanna. And at the time, the name resonated, you know, it was bum. It made sense. It resonated.
It's like
So
somehow you knew like multidimensionally that a connection was
yeah,
perhaps in the past and
absolutely.
the future.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah,
All in a
so when
sense.
Elena, yeah, when Elena mentioned Inanna, I was like, I remember Inanna, you know, from
Mhm.
history.
Yeah.
It's even more beautiful to learn about her, you know,
Yeah.
this way, galactic way.
Absolutely. Yeah, to see this other aspect of her, not just like a
Yeah,
deity of, on Terra, but like a real, a real lady, a real person. So that's beautiful.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just born somewhere else, right?
Absolutely. With
Absolutely.
no superiority, but just this equal loving way of watching over us in a way.
Absolutely. Yes.
My dear Joanna, time flies so fast. But
Yeah.
before we end our little interview here, I was wondering if you'd like to tell us a last few words, either of things you would like to share with us, Terrans, or perhaps some projects you have in the future, or anything you would like to leave us regarding either your practice or who you are, or something you would like to share regarding this manifestation of positive things on Terra as you're doing right now with your practice. I mean, you're really incarnating something quite high frequency with what you're doing. So, but
Oh,
I'll leave it to you to tell us a bit more.
beautiful. Well, today I shared something, and I think it's interesting to talk about it. Like sometimes you look around and you know that so many things are happening in the background, and you kind of feel like you're not doing your share,
Mm,
like you stop and think, what am I doing to add to this, to add to this, you know, increase of frequency and, helping people? What am I doing about that? With so many things going on in the background. But then I understood like, and I understood like we all have our personal missions. And, by simply, it's it's not simple, but it's beautiful, but it's simple in a way. Just this facial cream, you know, connected to Inanna, and something that can bring people joy back, especially women. Sorry, man, but it's true. I'm going to work on a facial cream for men. But, like, where women can, recover that self-love when you feel that.
crucial, crucial.
Yeah,
Self-love, self-care.
yeah.
It's not just about creams.
No, exactly. It
It's a
goes with
whole, yeah,
it goes within. It's like when you feel that you were able, to make someone feel beautiful again,
yeah,
you kind of think, okay, so that's my mission.
beautiful
That's my
one too.
Yeah.
Very
So
inspiring.
that's it, people. Like, don't it's only natural to think that you're not doing enough and you're not doing your share, but you are. You are doing your share. It can be very simple gesture, but it can be so grand.
Wow. Thank you, Joanna. Those are wise words because you cover the essence of what life on Terra is. It's not just about, you know, I don't know how can I say this, starry, marvelous things. It's how we
Yeah.
ground also these positive energies and in the tangible way, because our spirituality is something that we should ground and live in a grounded way. And you're doing that because through this cream, to this product, to this opportunity or invitation to women to self-love and self-care, you're grounding that spirituality in a way. And I think it's beautiful how you're doing it, and it's very
Thank you.
inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abigaëlle.
Thank you. Thank you for what you're bringing to the world, for what you are. And it's an inspiring lady with so much curiosity and sort of multidisciplinary, interests. And that's always fascinating because sometimes, and I'm also a multidisciplinary, and sometimes we feel like we're kind of
Yeah,
flying everywhere like a little butterfly, and we feel like,
dispersing.
am I like, where am I going with this? And then suddenly life just brings everything you do in the
Yeah,
past together, and then suddenly everything makes sense and it just flows.
absolutely.
So it was beautiful that you trusted yourself in that beautiful process, because now you're doing something that's really inspiring. So thank
No,
you.
thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Abigaëlle.
It's a real pleasure. So Thank you again, dear Joana. And I invite everybody to look at Joana's link that we've put there if you want to have a look at this beautiful, inspiring Inanna's Secret product, but also discover a bit more about Joana herself. So thank you again, and take immense care of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. All my gratitude for helping this channel bring high vibrations and high frequencies to more people.